Go, go,
Go.
go! So today we're going to do some Go, continuing from what I left off last time. And let's just quickly go through what we learned. So Go has this special file called a go.mod file, and in here you declare your module, which I've declared as this. You declare the Go version, and as you add dependencies, they come up here, which you
Mhm.
can add when you just write the command go.install something. I'll just make the terminal editor size a bit bigger. So let's just do that. Terminal font. Wait, terminal dot font size. Uh,
Sounds reasonable.
font size.
Um, integrating.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so Go comes with this Go tool. Um, and if you create a go.mod file and you do go.install in here, it is
Mhm.
effectively the same as calling go.install that module name, this thing.
Mhm.
The module itself gets installed in a specific directory
Mm.
that's in
So
like your home
it's like
directory.
npm install -g, like always.
Always, yeah. So that
Yeah.
installs a specific version of your module, like in this case 0.5.0. And if you use that again in other
Mm.
repositories, it just can like reference that binary or that dependency. Um, yeah.
Mhm.
So when I want to run this, I think I can just do go run, and then I have to give it the actual module name, unfortunately, unless I do dot. Yeah, I think if I did dot, it would find the main file, which in this case I've renamed it to main.go. So I think if I have to do, oh, it's still referencing that old binary. So if I do go clean, maybe, is there a clean? Yeah, go clean, go install me. Hmm.
What's this error that you keep getting? Alpha module missing dot. Oh yeah, in your main, there's like an import more strings, which is
Yeah,
what's up with that.
yeah. So I'm referencing the more strings module here that has this function. So it's this package, sorry, not a module, that has the package name more strings, and
Uh,
it's got this function, and I want to use this function in this main. So how do I do that? I have to import from the full module path from this Go mod. So hello world noob, I think. Playground, sorry, noob hello. So playground slash noob hello, hello, and then more strings. And by doing that, I should be able to reference the more strings dot and then that function name, reverse runes. Hello world. Does that work? Why does it remove that?
why did it go away?
So I've got this extension which does like linting and all this stuff, and I thought it would be really useful to use with Go, but I'm going to switch back to Sublime because that's annoying.
So I'm guessing it thought that you weren't using it, and so it got rid of it.
Yeah, like it wasn't able to actually resolve this properly.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so let's try it again. Playground slash noob slash, what was it? Hello,
Hmm.
and then more strings. Oh, because I called it more stings. Well,
Hmm. Well, that's not great. That like if you make a typo, it'll remove your import.
yeah, it's just that that weird extension. which is not very good. All right, so let's go back into here. Let's go back into here and go install. Okay, that worked. So if I do go run dot, there we go. So what I was trying was, what if I don't reference the full namespace and just do more strings?
Yeah. And presumably that didn't work.
That's right, yeah. So you need the full namespace. And then you get access to this, and yeah. So what I wanted to do was do the tour and kind of like, so I wanted to create my own package for the Go tour and just go through the bits and pieces just in here. So I created a package called tour, and let's see if we can call this. So we'll have to go import this thing with tour. And let's get rid of these. And let's just call it tour.test.
So is this like a tour on the Go website?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So it says cannot refer to tool.test, undefined tool.test. Oh, so this is the other thing. When you create a module in Go, you have to build it. So I think I have to do Go build.
Oh.
And then I can do this.
Oh.
Something like that.
I hope not, because like that would suck.
Yeah.
Every time you make a change to any module, you need to build it specifically, and then probably its parent modules as well.
Let me just refer to the documentation and see what they actually did, because I can't remember. I thought that's what I did, but if we go documents and then go how to...
T needs to be capitalized.
Oh, to make it public. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Forgot about that.
Quirky behavior.
But then, yeah, I wasn't sure if my build was necessary or not.
We'll try without.
Is that actually erroring? I can't tell. It's saying imported and not used. Sure,
I
but
feel like that's a warning.
yeah, what did my test do? It should print.
print?
So if I remove these,
Uh,
what will happen? Surely it would like still let it run. Oh wow. So if I have,
so you're not allowed to have unused inputs.
Interesting. Okay. Not sure how I feel about that one.
Yeah, I think there's the same thing with unused variables. It won't compile with unused variables.
Right. So if we have a look at the tour, where is my Chrome? Where are you? So maybe let's just do the tour.
I think I remember the tour, but it's like years and years ago that I did it.
Okay, this would be a good refresher then.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Where is it? It's probably better to, oops, sorry. I'll put this tour at the top, and then I'll put my thing at the bottom so it's clearer. All right. So print line, we can see how that's done. Okay. So here's something I always want to test out. Like if I import, say, something like time, is there a way for me to figure out like what all the methods on time? It does go have like this sort of reflection similar to Python, where you can call a method and it'll print it all out, for example, give you all the access to what you have available.
I think Go might have some reflective capabilities. If you look up Go reflection, you might find something.
Yeah, that's something I always...
The methods, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the red
obviously,
stuff.
and obviously, like we could do this with an IDE, but if you just want to compile it and run it, I just want to see, is there a way to get like all of your methods or something? I'm just gonna look for the word method, type method,
I saw num methods. There you go.
method. So if we just call like import reflect, and then if we look at the way that this is called, so you give it a value. So what if I did like reflect.num field or num method on time, and then
Hmm.
if we print that out,
Yeah, undefined num method. That's a method on value.
ah, so what's value
So
then?
yeah, how do we get a value out of time? I wonder.
So in the case that they have time.now, I wonder if I just call num like time.now and then is that a value that you can then use reflect on?
I'm not sure what value is. Uh, I think it looks like you can click on it.
Oh, okay.
Should give you a definition.
Use the kind method to find out what. Calling a method inappropriate to the kind of the type causes a runtime panic. Okay. Can we
This is
just.
where algebraic data types would be better.
Hmm.
Do they have examples?
Um. There we go.
This is kind of cool. It looks like they're taking the struct definition and using that to build up a get query.
Where was that?
Just from what this looks like, that they're going to, they're saying like create query, and I assume they're going to take this struct and turn it into a network request instead of a
Right.
serialized request.
Hmm.
And using reflection, you can then use the names of the fields as part of your serialization.
Hmm. So, this notation where the queue is of type interface thing, uh, I don't quite understand that. Like, is that
So that's defining an interface in place.
right?
It's like an anonymous interface. And this interface has no methods in it. So everything satisfies it.
So any interface satisfies this queue, and then they use
Any
reflection.
any value satisfies that interface because it has no constraints.
Oh, okay.
So that's the Go's version of the any type.
Hmm. Okay. Well, let's just look at the reflect because that's what we're interested in. So they have some value where they're doing reflect type of and value of. Interesting. So let's just
Mm.
see what that is. If we go v is some reflect dot type of this, and then we format print line the value or type of.
Mm-hmm. So I assume value of returns the value, and then I guess type is this other thing as well.
Let's. Oh my god, my computer is so slow. All right, value of. Oh no.
Ah,
Oh no. Yeah, don't upgrade to Catalina.
What happened?
No, it's just my computer's really slow, and I think it's like after upgrading.
Okay.
Ah, not cargo. Go run. Syntax error. Missing statement after label 10.
Uh, oh, do your T column. Yeah, yeah.
Undefined tool.test tool test main tool main.
Okay.
Oh, hello.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Okay.
And then we
Yep.
should be able to get like num methods and stuff, right?
Yeah. So
On
I
that
thought
V.
I tried on the V, you reckon, of the value.
Yeah, so before you were doing it on the actual like time, but
Yeah.
now it's taking a reflected version of it or something. Which I
Num.
don't actually understand what it means, but
So you reckon this will print out the number of methods?
yeah.
35.
Cool. All right, we
Uh,
got 0.11.
So how do we get the actual methods?
How do we get the names? How do we get the methods?
Method by name.
Oh,
Method.
method I. So I guess you can for loop over. You write a for, I guess. You index them.
Method I. So does it return an iterator? Oh, right.
No, no, this is
Right.
just index.
Yeah, but I want to kind of just get all of them as a list or something, which we haven't got to. Is there lists of
You
strings?
remember how I said this was inspired by C?
Yeah.
It's gonna have C for loops. It's
No.
gonna
There's
have
no
C
for
while.
I in.
I think it does have that, but only for lists. You can't generalize that to any type. You can't make your own custom for IN.
No.
You only get that for uh, you only get that for lists and dictionaries.
So they've got this weird syntax for list of string. That is horrible.
Uh, that's a slice of string actually.
Ah.
I think it's a slice of string.
Oh, this is going to be really painful because it won't compile if, yeah, if you don't satisfy all of the dependencies and stuff. Yeah, look at that.
I think we have to just do a regular. We just have to do a regular C start for loop for I equals 0, I is less than number.
So how does the for loops work in Go? For,
Down there.
oh my God.
Yeah, you write it just like C, but without the bracket.
So there is length, which is good, but we just want for I is less than V dot num method minus one.
No,
But it, okay.
the -1 is covered by the less than, which isn't less than or equal to.
Oh, yes, sorry, you're right. And then dot print f or print line v dot method I.
Uh, as bracket is a method. Method is a method. Lol. Let's see what these things are. Isn't this easy? It's just a payment.
Oh, whoa.
Oh my god.
What the hell?
Well, I guess you got a method back. What's the type for the return? Assume they're all method types. They reflect our value. The fuck? What do you do? What do you do with them?
Yeah, it gives you back a
Okay,
value.
value.
And do you need to do then value of that value?
We've hit our recursion problem. We want to do dir on value. We've got the documentation here.
Value of value. I wonder if we just do the value of value to find out what that is.
This doesn't help. You get a value again.
There we go.
Whoa. Whoa, okay. I'm so confused.
Well, no, because when you index this method, you get a value that you then we don't know what that value is, so you call reflect value of to get it.
Really? Okay.
But how do you get the name?
Yeah, we didn't get the name.
Is there like in this type value, is there a get some name thing
Can you
value?
do reflect value of again? What happens if you do it more?
You want me to do it?
Again, yeah.
Well,
Cool.
call slides, field. Field by name? You want some sort of name thing.
Does name, can you search for name? You can look things up by name, but you want to find the name of things. Are they the only instances of name?
Field by name and the name string, field by name func. Match function string bool value.
Okay, so that's a predicate.
Reflect get methods of Go object. Why is it so difficult? How to dump methods of structs in Golang. Oh yeah. Here we go. So they do that, and then they do print method.name. There we go.
What? Why didn't we see that?
That must be a property of
what? So they're not calling value of.
Yeah, they call just the method.name.
Did it return a value or did it return a method? Maybe it returned a method.
But no, because we saw it was type value, and then we got the value of the value, and that's how we got.
Can we see the function method?
Sure, just let me try this first.
Yeah.
Value has no. Oh, okay, see, it's reflect value. So v.method I is of type value, and in this example, where they get the foo type dot method,
they're doing the same.
Yeah. Unless they've changed the implementation.
And like in the documentation, I can see type method. Like there is a method type.
Oh yeah.
It'd be very strange that it's not returning that.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it.
And there's the name.
So how do you get things of method type? Because all of these are returning value and not method type. So what returns method type?
Right.
Unless you go from value to method type or something. Is there a way to go from value to method type?
If we just keep searching method, we might see.
Well, it's actually, I did search all of like these have the return values, and there's nothing that actually does the return value on method. Yeah, I'm not going to search that. Okay, that's enough reflection, I think. Let's keep going. Oh, congratulations, we're done. All right. So they're saying here that the program imports packages, and you can do relative packages. Which we saw with our namespace thing.
There's no distinction.
There's no distinction
between relative and absolute.
Hmm. I'm not even sure what
Wait, wait,
absolute.
relative?
I didn't actually see the word relative, sorry. I just saw,
Okay,
yeah, yeah. I just saw this sort of
okay.
syntax and I thought it could be relative, but no.
Hmm.
Multiple imports. Yep. Exported names. Ah, yep. So, if you use the capitalization, they can be exported. Functions can take 0 or more arguments. Notice that the type comes after. Sure. Functions continued. You can okay, so you can declare multiple variables with the same type, multiple
There's that C
results.
influence again.
There's what?
There's that C influence again.
Oh, with the multiple types. Yeah.
Multiple
Multiple
programming
variables for the
types.
same type. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is a tuple then?
Yep. We got tuples.
So the swap function. Okay, so let's just do that. So let's get rid of all this and let's get rid of these. Maybe it's worth going back to VS Code because in a way, it removing the stuff is pretty useful because it can't
Yeah,
compile.
because it
So
doesn't compile if you don't. Yeah.
yeah, so I might go
I
back.
guess you should be able to like undo if it accidentally deletes something.
Yeah, so let's go back to VS Code, which is incredibly slow for some reason. Okay, go run dot. Yeah, cool. So let's go to our test.go. This should really be called something else. Let's call it main as well. What happens if I name it main? Will it be problematic? Shouldn't be. Oh shit. Main.go. And let's just make sure this works. fmt.println. Hello. I'll go. Ah, go run. Hello. All right. So let's do returning tuple. So func return tuple, and this is going to take nothing and just return string string. So let me just return dog and cat. So tuples are just like that. I don't like that.
Well,
So,
you might be able to put this in brackets. I'm not
hmm.
actually sure on that.
And what happens if I return tup and then put this in a variable, my tup,
Hmm.
and then format.println my tup?
Mm-hmm.
Will it work?
Hmm. Oh, maybe you can't do that. You take.
Oh, I gotta
Okay,
destructure it.
I take it back. There's no tuples.
What is it then?
It's only for returning. You can return multiple values, and you
Ah,
must like get each value. You can't get it
right.
as a tuple.
So if I go animal one,
I
animal
thought I
two,
had
how do I do it though?
with commas, I guess. Yep.
Yeah, it's a package if you want Golang tuple.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, all right.
Okay, so it's not supported by like language syntax other than this return trick.
Yeah. Named return values. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
So Go return values can be named. If so, they are treated as variables defined at the top of the function.
Whoa, that's different.
Wait, so
Whoa,
you just assign them into a variable and then return, and they're gonna be returned. That's interesting.
but like, what about on the return? Does it also assign the variables inside your caller?
Say that again.
So in your caller, do you now have an X and Y as a result of calling this?
Right. I believe so. But I don't have to call X and Y.
Yeah, yeah, you can destructure it, but can you also not destructure it and then you automatically have X, Y?
So you're saying just call it and then see if I get X, Y.
Yeah.
That would be weird. Because, yeah, it would be really weird if that's the case. Please don't do it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's their example? They're calling split 17 and they're just printing it. Maybe you can just do that. Maybe print line takes these weird tuples.
Mm, yeah, I would say so. Because you can just like print
Mm,
line with like multiple things like I did just before. Like you can do comma B.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
so this must be a var variable param type vardict type thingy where you can
Hmm.
supply multiple arguments to it, as many arguments as you want. But yeah, I didn't actually reference the XY thing. So if I go and then return the, yeah, I won't call it, I'll just call it multiple return instead of multiple return type because that doesn't make sense. Oh my God, this is so slow. And no new variables on left side. Do you have to put it next to the thing?
No, no. So colon equals means you're defining a new variable.
Oh, right.
So X and
Mm,
Y already exist.
okay, thanks.
Hmm.
Interesting. Variables, you can use the word var as in function arguments, the type. Oh, okay.
Hmm. So you can declare variables without assigning them something.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Variables with initializers. Yep. So does that mean that you can do the while loop var inside the scope thing in I assume so since it's so influenced by C, but like if you did like
Hmm.
while var I equals 0, you know, you sign inside the while loop
Hmm.
parameter and then you can like
I'm not
I
sure.
plus plus and then if I is less than 20 break, you do that? Uh, Unexpected var. Do you have to give it the type?
Maybe you can't declare variables in there.
Hmm. I colon equals 0. Okay.
Hmm.
Nope. Next, short variable declarations. Use that instead of var. Yeah. Okay, so outside a function, every statement begins with a keyword. So you can't do this outside of a function. That's interesting.
Oh, with var, you have to specify what the type is.
Oh, yeah, I see. Whereas this one, we haven't been doing that.
Yeah, colon equals will infer the type. That's like a difference between the two. Otherwise, they're equivalent.
Hmm. So we have bool string and then the different, um, interesting. So we have all these different integers and then we have all these different unsigned integers and an
Hmm.
UN pointer.
Hmm.
Why would they only have UN pointer and not other pointers?
I think they have other pointers in the same way, like with C, like you add asterisks, and so you can have pointers to any type.
Okay.
I don't know what union pointer is for though.
So if I have like something, some A is an int 12,
Yeah.
and then I do like
Set B to the memory address of A. So ampersand A.
then I have to use it.
And then, yeah, print out B. There you go.
Right. So if
And
I
I
do,
get,
so if I dereference this,
you should get 12.
mm,
Yeah. So Go has pointers.
and if we go A dot, let's say we wanted to delete A. Are
You
there?
can't.
You can't. Okay.
Yeah, there's no manual memory management.
Okay. But if we do A is equal to 14, and then we print out B again, we should get
Mm-hmm.
14.
Yeah.
So what's a rune? An alias for int I32 represents a Unicode code point?
So all Unicode runes can be represented by 32-bit numbers.
Hmm.
Don't ask me what a rune is, but it's roughly a character.
Sorry, one sec. Okay. Um. Okay.
And they have complex numbers.
Hmm. So what about double?
That'd be float 64.
Okay. Yep. Zero values. Variables declared without an explicit initial value are given their zero value. Zero for numerical types, false for Boolean types, and okay. What about like your custom types? What's
So
this?
your custom types will be made up of these primitives ultimately.
Right. Type conversion, T, and then the parentheses for the value over the value. So does it do typecasting? Like if I did 1.0 divided by 1, will that convert to float?
I think so.
So let's just do f is equal to this, and then we'll do reflect, and then we'll print the type of, or unless this thing already tells me, loading label f. Okay.
The colon's in the wrong place. Yeah, try now.
Float 64. Okay. So it does do. I got to use it. But when I do use it, float 64.
Mm-hmm.
And if you mix, say, like a string and a number, so you go like f plus hello,
That's a good question.
can't do it.
It's like, oh.
But then if I convert this to float 64,
Mm-hmm. Can't do that.
okay. But I assume I can do it the other way around, where I
You
can
want to find out?
convert a float to a string. Oh,
Ah, what?
is there like a two? Is there a?
Oh, I think FUMT, the format library, is what you use for that.
Okay. Convert float to string. Go. Parse float.
Sprintf, Sprintf.
Hmm. But I think you can also
Yeah.
do this, right? Oh, this is converting from string to float.
So all the printlns and stuff have a sprint, which
Yep.
just means return string instead of printing to standard out.
Format s printf. and then give it F. And then can you add two strings?
Hopefully.
No. Oh, I gotta use it. Yep.
Hmm.
Um, Type inference, yes. That's what we looked at. Ah, okay. So this is divide. What's the double division type thing mean?
Oh, that's integer division.
Ah, okay. Yep.
The Python 3 does this nowadays.
Well, yeah, it has integer division, but it still converts. If you do divide the int and a float, it will convert to float. And in Python 2, it would convert it to an int.
In Python 3, if you use the division like single slash, it always outputs a float.
Yes. Whereas
Never
it,
integer division.
but it used to in
It
Python
used to,
2.
yeah.
Yeah, which was really confusing and bad.
Yeah. You do 10 divided by 3 and get 3.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What other type inference do they talk about? Unsigned numeric constant. The new variable may be int, float, or complex, depending on the precision of the constant. Okay. So if you just define a constant, it will infer what you want based on that
Yeah.
definition. That's cool.
Yeah. I remember it being they were making a big deal about the precision of your numbers can
Hmm.
be as big as you like. All your constants, you can use as much precision as you like, and it'll retain that precision throughout the compilation, until it gets assigned into a variable. Whereas that's not the case in C and C++.
Right.
Your constants get a type at the moment you write them, and then they're truncated to whatever that type
Yep.
can hold.
I see. Hmm. Yeah, I like the sort of Rust style where it determines it based on its usage.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. So const, fair enough. Don't declare it with the colon equals. Numeric constants are high precision values. Uh, huh. So they have this const declaration with this parentheses.
Mm.
That's a bit different.
Yeah, it's a bit convenient, I suppose, to
Yeah.
have your
But we don't need to
const.
specify the type. It just kind of infers it as well.
Mm.
Okay. 4. Yep. So we've seen this style.
Mm-hmm.
No
Yes, Go
parentheses.
uses for everything.
Sorry?
Go uses for everything. There's no while. It's just for.
Okay. So in this case, they have this incrementer outside. Don't need to declare it in the for loop syntax. Yeah, so
Yeah, so that's a while loop. Yeah.
mm,
And the infinite loop,
cool.
which I like that. Oh, no, I prefer what Rust does. If you want an infinite loop in Rust, you just say loop.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty
instead of like
explicit.
popular or whatever. It's,
Yeah,
yeah, infinite loop.
it's very targeted
And
to your context
it's
of.
cool because then the language knows how to interpret it, like in terms of like control flow.
Mm,
It knows it'll like whether it never reaches the end, and then you don't need to worry about return values or anything.
mm. If, yep. So similar to Rust.
No brackets. Hang on, I'll be back in a minute.
Yep, no worries. Like for the if statement can start with a short statement to execute before the condition. Ah, okay. So they do assign. They can assign. Hmm. So I wonder if. Ah, yep. Yep. That makes sense. Uh-huh. What about elif? Did we see that? Where's the elif? There is one thing that was interesting, which is that they can assign in the if statement.
With a semicolon. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a very common practice for error checking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think the common practice is your function returns a value, comma error, and so you destruct that into two variables, and you want to immediately if the error is like present.
Yep.
So you actually do your assignment in the if condition. And immediately check the error, and then your if branch is whether you do error handling or continue.
Yep. I've done that a lot with Python, returning like tuples of like an error and also something else. And if the error exists, you want to do something
exactly
about it. Yeah.
Exactly the same.
That's interesting because I came up with that pattern like just randomly. It's like, okay. I thought it was a bit of overhead when I did it just because.
Honestly, I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's the downside of Go, the way they idiomatize that.
Okay, so this exercise. Implement square root function. Given an x, we want to find number z, where z squared is nearly x. Computers typically compute the square root using a loop. Starting with some guess at z, we can adjust z based on how close z squared is to x, producing a better guess. So in this case, they have z is z minus this thing, where it's the z squared minus x divided by 2z.
Alex, when you need them.
Yeah, this is a pretty not very intuitive question.
Alex to go like, oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems random how they're just like, yeah, just do this random approximation.
I mean, it's cool. I'm sure if we look at it for 5 minutes, we'll work it out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's really obtuse thing initially.
Repeating this adjustment, so it's like to improve the guess of z close to x. Implementing this function square root provided. A decent sudden guess would be z is 1, no matter what the input. To begin with, repeat the calculation 10 times and print z along the way. See how close you get to the various values of x, 1, 2, 3, and how quickly this guess improves. Hints: declare and initialize a floating point value, giving it a floating point syntax, or use the conversion. Huh? Oh, this is it initialized as a floating point value? What is it then?
If you do z equals 1, then it won't be a float, still be an integer.
Because of that precision thing.
I think because you're assigning it to a variable and it goes like, what's appropriate for the number 1? I'm going to use an int. It's not as good as Rust, where Rust would look at how z gets used.
But it's saying it's float 64 here. I'm a bit confused.
No, make it 1.
Sure, but we're making it one.
Now,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's actually like it doesn't lose any precision, but it's now an int,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
affect other calculations.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess we just perform that equation a bunch of times, print
Mm-hmm.
out the value each time, and that should do it.
Yeah. So we want to write a function that returns that method where we get. Oh shit! What the hell?
What was that?
Oh, nothing.
What was that?
Um. So do we want to write the square root? Um. Like what's z?
I think it's z is the square root of x, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think we start with z equals 1, and then we just iterate. We do this equation a bunch of times, and then
Mm-hmm.
z will asymptote towards square root x.
So if I just do z minus equal this function square root of z.
No, the equation, the z times z minus x divided by 2z.
Like that.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh, okay. So it wants me to write the square root function. So can I just write x multiplied by like half or something? What's x?
No, sorry, the z stuff you're doing is the square root function.
Right. So the value I get with is x, but then what about the actual values here? How do I write that? As in
So
like,
z is the square root of x, but like it tends towards the square root of x the more you do that equation.
right. So if I just specify here like the initial thing, and then we just do this as many, like a certain number of times, we'll get something close to x, right? The square root of
Close
x.
to square
Yeah.
root of x. Yeah.
So we're gonna like say how many times we're gonna do it. So we'll go
Yeah.
like, let's say in this case for, and then for I might less than, oh sorry, yeah, wait, how do we do this? So I is starting with 0, I is less than some num, I plus plus,
Mm-hmm.
z minus equal z squared. So if we did format print line of, yeah, square root 2, that's what that's doing. So we should see the value.
Mm-hmm.
How do I run it? Kill? Run? And
And
and if we actually just actually get the square root, what is that? Can I just do this? 0.5? Oh,
star or power.
is it like how? How do
No,
you
I
mean?
mean asterisks,
Oh, okay.
like Python.
Like that?
Mm-hmm.
Invalid indirect of 0.5. Okay. Maybe it's not that.
Maybe just power. Golang power.
How? Yeah. And need another one of these. Ma! How do
You
I
probably have to
import it from what the... From...
probably math. Math probably.
Yeah, yeah, import math. Math.pal. Cool. So if I do this like one time,
Hmm.
hmm,
Yeah.
wow, interesting.
Read never mind.
So we have switch statements, and how do they work? So you can do like, let's just run this. Go OS, and then you switch on OS.
Hmm.
So if you have some value,
Same as a regular switch.
you have to, yeah, just call it on the switch, which you then can do this syntax.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that assigns the same
they
as what it
don't
was
need
doing
to
in the if
break.
statement.
They don't need to break. Interesting.
Ah, that's good. Yeah.
Top, bottom. Hmm. Okay. Switch with no condition. Hmm. So if you did a switch without something, you then just can put in a case for some other variable that you've defined somewhere else.
It's the same as switch true.
Hmm. Okay. Here we go. Defer.
Mm-hmm.
Defers the execution of a function until the surrounding function returns. So defer calls arguments are evaluated immediately, but the function call is not executed until the surrounding function. So it's actually saying when this main function, the surrounding function is the main function, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's deferring. So what if you have multiple defers?
Mm.
I guess it's in that order.
Hello, dog world.
No, it's not.
Backwards order. Yeah.
Cat. Hmm. Cool. Stacking defers. Yeah, that's what we just saw. Cool.
Cool.
Pointers. Pointer holds the memory address to a value. Type pointer t is a pointer to t value. Its zero value is nil. Okay, so nil represents a null pointer.
Yeah.
And is
Yeah, it's
nil
very cool.
equiv? What if you did nil equal zero? What would you get?
I imagine it wouldn't be compatible,
Hmm.
that they're different types.
Mismatch type. Yep.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
There was so many little incremental improvements on C, but just missing so many giant improvements that we've made in languages
Yeah.
over recent.
Um. Okay. So you can set this p to be um the address of another thing, and you can declare it as a pointer to t.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about if you pass? by reference and stuff. So if you have,
I don't think Go has references.
so if you had
So
a
your function can
function,
take a pointer,
yeah,
but there's no such thing as a function taking a reference. I don't think references exist.
right. So if I create a variable here of I int, it would be int star. So that would be int star. And then I wanted to say int line of this I. So I'll just, I guess, do I have to dereference it to get the value? I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
So I go
So
A is
what if you
13.
call some function with nil? I wonder.
We'll try that. So let's just give it the memory address of A, and then we do some func B from 13. Nil.
Yay.
Cool. Yeah, so I should get the memory address if I did that. Cool.
Yeah.
No pointer arithmetic. Fair enough. Structs. So we instantiate structs just like we do in Rust.
Hmm.
Can you give them names though?
That has a name. Like it's called vertex. Oh, you mean those? Oh, good question.
Yeah, you can. Cool.
Good.
If I did that. So you can give them in any order as well. Is that the same with Rust?
It would be.
That's good.
Yeah.
Dot notation to access the fields. So what if we did W is equal to that? Can I still access? Yeah, so let's say I want to access W's fields.
You can just do w.x. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
It
have to do
automatically dereferences.
this notation or the other
That's right.
notation.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it sees a pointer and you. Oh yeah, your W using.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's cool. And so let's
yeah.
just skip ahead and go, this vertex has a method. So how do I implement a method for this struct?
Fun. And then in brackets, v vertex.
So oh, in brackets,
In brackets, do v vertex.
new vertex.
V vertex. Like v is the variable name. And then close bracket. And then the function name. And then the parameters. And yeah. So your v is the vertex that it's being called with. Yeah. Nice.
I don't like that syntax.
Me neither.
Yep, so we could write that, but we can just write dot. That's good. Struct literals denotes newly added struct by listing the values of its fields. You can just list a subset of fields just by using the name, colon syntax, and the order of the name. Okay.
Anything you omit gets the 0 value.
So in this, what they're doing is they have this struct with these two, and they're setting, right, they're setting only certain values, but for this one, they're setting so they're using the ampersand for the address of a vertex, and it's just automatically making that a pointer to it.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
interesting.
So because Go is garbage collected, this is fine.
Mm. And would that mean that where is it creating it on the heap?
Yeah.
Whereas this wouldn't be on the heap.
Um,
Or
I'm not sure.
yeah, we
Maybe
don't
everything
know.
in the heap.
Okay.
We don't know.
Alright, so it's got the thing backwards when you declare it.
Mm.
Why did
Right. So
this?
when you say number, that means it's an array. But if you don't have the number, that means it's a slice.
Okay.
Which I think is the same as Rust. Like Rust arrays have that colon number. Say it's a sized array.
Mm-hmm. An array length is just part of the type, so arrays cannot be resized. This seems limiting, but don't worry, Pro provides a way for working with arrays. Slice